in the morning and you need plans for dinner for the afternoon for yourself, you go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo,
Riley would be the type of guy just got in a fight,
so depressing.
Upset,
Fuck you.
and you go to Buffalo Wild Wings for the bar.
Buffalo Wild Wings is such a
What?
depressing.
No, I go for the wings.
You would go. You would be the type of guy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings for the bar.
I go for the wings.
If you go to Buffalo Wild Wings regularly, that guy's fighting some demons, bro.
I don't go regularly.
Bodacious true crime.
I've been recording for the last 7 minutes, so we can do a clap sync whenever you guys are ready. Gus, it's customary for Gus to do the clap sync.
That's what my mic will pick it up.
All right, there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bodacious True Crime.
For another episode.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You may, if you're watching the, what's it called? The YouTube version, you can see us.
Oh.
And yeah,
so for all you audio listeners, you might want to check that out.
There's Younes. He's down here for me. I don't know where on your guys' screen, but then Gus is over here.
That's not Ollie. Oh.
Yeah, it's not Ollie because he was busy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll get Younes. I tried to get Kareem, but Kareem fucking is a bitch, so doesn't. Whatever.
Hey, it's your boy Younes, aka Couch Fucker.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Fuck. Did I tell you on like 2 different occasions my brother like called me randomly and
told me.
He's like, "What did he fuck the couch with?" And I was like, lube, I think.
That was heated in the microwave. Moving on.
Moving on, and I'm gonna keep this here in case it is a good omen, for the. This is Sizzle Popcorn. Not that we're sponsored by them, but like, what if we were? You know what I'm saying?
We're not sponsored, but use code Bodacious.
No, you can't. That doesn't work yet. Just wait. Just wait.
If enough people do it, maybe.
Let me just tell you guys, this popcorn is legendary, especially in the shadows.
You have never eaten it. What are you talking about, Younes?
I'm just saying, it's a legendary popcorn. They say only bosses can eat it.
Oh, that's true. Yep. Yeah, Younes is selling it. Good job. Younes, you're fitting right in. Today we're going to be talking about JonBenét Ramsey.
Joe Biden.
I think there's been
9/11.
There's been some pretty Gus, shut the fuck up.
Wake up,
Joe Biden. There's been some
the name sounds so fucking made up.
I was just about to say there has been some pretty spicy hot takes on this podcast, but whether or not John, combining the name, the father's first name and the father's middle name as like a good name is a thing, will be discussed heavily on this episode, I assume.
It's not a good thing, it's a rich thing.
They were very rich.
Yeah.
They were very rich.
You know what though? I'd rather have that than have a rich child be named North.
That's true.
Well, as or a direction or a color or anything in between, because that's what's been happening recently.
You see, look, a good
and you tell me what you'd rather have.
To give their kid a name that's moldable during sex, Okay.
Oh my god. Moving on. This is moving on.
Named Walter.
Moving on. Walt Jr.
No, it's Flynn. Okay.
Oh, sorry. So, do you think she moans Flynn?
Who?
Sorry. What was his friend's name? That was a dude.
Lewis.
Anyways, so
I think Walt Jr. was the one moaning.
Before we talk about JonBenét Ramsey. Before we talk about JonBenét Ramsey, we have to talk about JonBenét Ramsey, which is the father.
Can we just call him John?
Yeah, I will call him John Ramsey for the rest of this.
Yeah.
So JonBenét Ramsey, that's the only time I'm going to say his full name.
You immediately lied.
Okay, that's the only time I'm going to say his full name.
We call him John Ramsey from now on. So JonBenét.
So JonBenét Ramsey. So John Ramsey was born on December 7th, 1943 in Lincoln, Nebraska. He went to Michigan State University and joined the Navy after graduating in 1966.
Hey, Riley.
Shut up.
What's your graduation year?
2025.
56.
And what are you gonna do a year afterwards?
Join the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyways, shut the fuck.
So what are you gonna name your daughter? Riley
Uh,
Williams Sassanelli.
Riley will say, oh my god.
Riley Will Sassanelli.
Dude, you know JonBenét has no H in it, so it's JonBene with like a fucking stupid ass thing above it.
Bro, his parents did not give a fuck about his name.
It's a girl. So anyways, he became
Riley Williams Sassanelli.
Shut the fuck. Don't give out my full name on air, Gus.
What do you think your middle name would be? Your future daughter.
I have no idea. Probably like Candace or something.
Riley William Candace Sassanelli, who lives on.
Oh my god. Okay, Ghassan Awali. I don't remember your middle name.
Yeah.
Anyways.
How long have you known me? 5 years? 6?
Since 8th grade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been... I forgot. Okay, I
And
forgot.
it's a year after senior.
Okay, so John Ramsey, I almost called him JonBenét again. He became a big businessman later in life, and we're not really going to talk about him much because this is about the kid. Yeah. Apparently, though, when he graduated, because he came from wealth, his net worth was $6.4 million.
Damn.
And then he became the president of American Graphics, which was a computer software company.
And then everybody clapped.
Uh-huh. In 1980, Ramsey marries Patricia Ann, something with a P, I want to say Pog, but I know that's not how it's pronounced.
Spell it in the chat.
Paugh.
Paul.
Okay, that. She does. Her nickname is Patsy. We're gonna call her Patsy Ramsey for the rest of the show. This is the mom. She does like literally nothing, and she graduates from Virginia University with a bachelor's in journalism, even though she was like a pageant queen. And she does really nothing. They have 2 kids together, John and Patsy, but John had 3 kids from his first marriage.
Damn.
Yeah, they got divorced like really quick.
And it sounds like John and Patsy really love each other.
Actually, they did. Weirdly enough, like Patsy, they stayed together all of
They stayed together, but from like the research I did, they were like very drawn to each other.
Mm-hmm. But they like John Ramsey stayed by Patsy Ramsey's side like the whole rest of her life. She dies like earlier than he does. He doesn't die though. He's still alive. Maybe you think he did it though. But anyways.
You're about to say unfortunately.
I know, because I was immediately jumping to he did it, but I don't know if he did it, I'll be honest.
Honestly, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did it either. But anyways, so they have 2 kids. Do you know what so like you'd think they'd name him something normal? I think his name is pronounced Burke Ramsey. And he was born January 27th, 1987, and JonBenét Ramsey, you know, who we've...
Honestly?
Yeah?
JonBenét isn't a bad name if she was a guy, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, if you're like a French...
Like, it's a foreign name. I think it rolls off the tongue, but I just wouldn't imagine it being associated with a woman.
If you're like a French mime, it's a good name. Or like some sort of French, like, JonBenét, you know?
Either a butcher or a baker. A French butcher or a French baker would be perfect.
Would you want a name that people would say is French? Who would want to be French?
Ugh, who wants to be French?
Well, they don't really get a choice. So at least have a cool name.
Yeah, we do.
Well, no, you don't get a good... Well, I guess you do. Okay, never mind. But anyway, she's born August...
What do you mean? You don't get a choice.
You can change
Yeah,
it.
you do. Just pay to win,
You can
bro.
change being French.
Yeah, just
Oh,
put in your
oui.
debit card. You can pay for a new skin.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
I want to see you do that.
What do you mean? I got the best jeans right now, bro. I'm sticking with what I got. I'm not re-rolling.
Oh my god.
That's why you're 5'5". Anyways, you're saying
That's
that?
why your mama did.
It's decade 5.
So... Wait, are we laughing at something I said?
That's why my
No.
mom's dead.
Oh no, that
Oh,
wasn't
I didn't
targeted
know
at.
that. I
Oh,
wasn't even thinking of that. I was just thinking of the 5-5 things.
I was thinking of the meme.
No, you're supposed to start with that's why you choose ragged.
Oh fuck! Okay, never
That's
mind.
the beginning part.
Well, don't I look like an asshole now?
Cancel him.
Cut it out! Cut it out! Anyways, so JonBenét Ramsey is born on August 6th, 1990, and like we said before, they took the first name of the dad and the middle name and combined them and made this stupid fucking name.
I like the name. I'll be honest.
Okay, yeah, it's fine, but it's just fine. Anyways, she became a pageant, like a beauty pageant queen, like her mom, except she's 6. She won several titles. I'm going to list all of them right now. America's Royal Miss, Lady Miss Chevrolet, or yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Little Miss Colorado, Colorado State All-Star Kids Cover Girl, National Tiny Miss Beauty, and like I said, these were all like her mom pushing her into being a pageant queen. Let's finally get to what happened with the big JonBenét case.
Mm-hmm.
On the morning of December 26th,
Yeah.
not even close to what I just said, Patsy Ramsey discovered a ransom note. Like, she had just woken up. Yep, she just woke up and she discovered a ransom note. And she immediately calls 911 after she discovers that JonBenét was missing.
Imagine discovering your daughter's missing, not because you couldn't find her, but because of ransom notes, so they took her.
Yeah, like, she read the note and then she was like, oh my god, she's missing.
A1 parents.
No, they are amazing parents. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the ransom note should I read the note in its entirety?
You got to.
I will. Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We do respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want to see her, 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw 118 grand from your account. 100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining 18,000 will be in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate sized attaché to the bank when you get home, and you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you be arrested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an early delivery of the money, and hence an earlier delivery. Delivery in this line is crossed out, and then they wrote pickup of your daughter. I'll talk about the mistakes in this letter after I finish it.
The grammatical ones, or like
both.
Yep.
Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The 2 gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we watch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement, countermeasures, and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions, and you stand a 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny, as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around here, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. And then it's signed Victory, SBTC.
First things first.
There's a lot.
Where did you get his statistics?
I have no idea. I think he just made that shit up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd fully trust those statistics. I want to see the math behind that.
I have my own comments.
Hmm.
Why were they so freaking like polite with the letter? This might be a little tiring, so make sure you sleep good, alright, kiddo?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why was the amount of money so specific?
118,000, not a flat 100 grand, not 150.
Nope, 118 grand.
I think, and don't misquote me, but I believe back then you would get taxed a bit whenever you pulled money from the bank. So I think they were also like tampering with the tax. So if he pulled out $100,000, 18 grand would have been taxed.
That's not the exact reason, but I like your thinking into it, Younes.
They're like that polite, like, oh, we don't want to fuck with this tax report. Pull out 118.
They do the math.
It's clearly a guy.
It's one of them's a tax write-off guy.
You can see on the back of the note that they're doing the math to make sure they come out with the exact amount so that his taxes don't get messed with.
They just give a bunch of scrap pieces of paper. It's just a bunch of math for the taxes.
So
statistics.
He's calculating. There's this takes hours for them to figure out because they're calculating all the statistics of you have 100% chance to get
your
daughter.
Standing in the kitchen doing all this.
the girl's like, "Can you let me go now?"
I'm just so
she fell asleep.
They were in the imagine there was a box too with mittens and gloves. It might be chilly.
So, one interesting thing that you might have noticed from that note that I just read is that is unusually long.
It's very long.
Yeah, that was 2 pages.
That sounded like a thesis.
Yeah, it was.
It was a whole peer-reviewed essay.
Usually for ransom notes, this is according to the FBI, they later commented on it, they are not that long, usually. Nor are they filled with as many spelling errors and just grammatical errors as this one is. In the actual note itself, there are, words crossed out. When I was, Go ahead, Gus.
Redo it.
Exactly.
And yeah, why did they submit their rough draft?
You know what's funny?
This was not your final essay.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. It's in a minute. You'll see it in a second.
So this was not the first note, was it?
No,
it wasn't. Right? Just do it again.
What? Pre-write it. How
You're
about that?
Already here, exactly. You already met.
Length is concerning to me. It's because in most situations hostage things and all that, the note's just we got your daughter. We want this much money. We want it in.
Talk to anybody in
at this time.
Yeah.
Don't tell the cops or she dies. And that's it. It's never more than 4 sentences.
And even that is kind of a big ransom note.
Mm-hmm.
What they did was so over the top. For no
reason. They got scholars to write their shit. That's what the 18 grand was for, to pay them off.
Shit, we gotta pay off our debts. Write it in. Write it in.
Alright, guys. We're each gonna get $25,000. Oh, fuck. Jimmy got into a car accident. Alright. Let's get an extra 18.
He's gotta pay his medical bills. You may have, like I said, there was remember when I was stuttering over the word delivery pickup? It's because in the original note, the word delivery has 2 lines through it. You're not supposed to read it.
Was this written in pen or pencil?
A pen.
Write it in pencil.
So, the police would later discover that there were no fingerprints on this note.
Hmm.
And they believe that it was
How would there be fingerprints on the note?
It the person handling it puts it down.
Just gonna press their hand into it.
Well, I mean, you have to. You'll see in a second. They ripped it off of a notepad in the house.
Right.
So it's there were, they came prepared, but it is likely that the way that this note is written is so unusual that experts believed it was just a way to divert attention from them taking their daughter, actually, or doing something else in the house.
Right.
The 18 grand was for so they can go to illiterate classes.
Writing 101.
That's what the 18 grand is for, so they can go to college.
That's so like
Learn how
okay.
to
If it was
write.
to let's say it was to divert the family or authorities
Mm-hmm.
or whoever. Why would they say they're gonna call them the next day in the
Their
morning?
plans are so. That was the first time I read the note. I'm gonna be honest, and it's like it's so convoluted.
It's
You know what I actually think struck
like
me the
I don't think
hardest?
that was their plan.
What's that, Younes?
My favorite part about the note was, if you do decide to get the money early, let us know so we can meet up at an earlier time, which is most convenient for you.
Exactly. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's like there's no way. Like number one, of course, the first thing they're gonna do is call the cops. Number 2,
Mm-hmm.
how would you know, like without spying, like being like directly like very close to them, without very
Mm-hmm.
close to their house?
They do say
Like
that they are under surveillance, but let's be real, they're not.
no.
So
Oh, one more thing. In the beginning of the note, we respect your business, but not the country it serves.
I think whoever wrote the note is like trying to kind of imply that they're like a foreign part of like a foreign scheme or something. Because this guy is like I said, president of a computer company in the. This takes place in the 90s.
Yeah.
So he's a
But
big
like,
guy, you know. People might have actually known
yeah.
him. Later in life, he runs for political office.
I mean, don't. But like, back to the thing. It's like, why him?
I have no
Like,
idea.
I'd assume I assume that either like running out of like if it's a tech company, probably in America, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
don't see like how anything would be outsourced to China if like it's like a tech kind of company.
Mm-hmm. And they do. They live in Colorado,
Yeah, so
specifically
I'm
Denver.
assuming it's American
Oh,
based,
that's
right?
why they couldn't spell.
So if they hate capitalism, why would you pick this random company?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's I don't know.
I have no idea.
You're
So
not the only fat cat. Like it doesn't make any sense. Why are you asking for 100 grand?
I don't know.
I have so many questions.
118.
I could go on all day about all the questions I have. Let's
It
move
is.
on.
It is such a stupid note. It's obvious that
Yeah.
it's not really like
It's
real.
pointless. Yeah, I would
And
have
I
looked
think
at it
that
and
was the
left with this.
point.
But what does it serve? There's so many
Nothing.
views on.
Yeah. No, it does nothing.
I there's no way it's meant to be a roadblock because it's so stupid.
It is dumb. So, upon investigating the house, police were able to determine that the note was written inside the house with a notepad, like, found on the table because they found impressions on the paper, like, of, like, the previous note and a practice draft that used a lot more exclamation points.
This was a kid
Right.
writing this. This is a kid writing. this.
Probably.
It just dawned upon me.
What?
It was written on a notepad, so that means the shit was like on 6 pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They like grabbed one, took it off, like, alright, keep writing. Instead of just grabbing a piece of fucking paper.
This is written by a kid.
Oh,
Exclamation points.
hey, if you believe the theories, which we're gonna get to later, maybe it
I know
was
the
written
theories.
by a kid.
I
I'm
know
just
the
kidding.
theory you're talking about.
I know, yeah. But
Yeah.
something interesting to note: 6 handwriting experts deemed it impossible that specifically Patsy Ramsey wrote the note because she was the first one to discover it. She was the only. She discovered it and then called the police, woke everybody up.
And wasn't it like similar to her handwriting? That's why everybody suspected it was her.
I don't know if it was similar to her. However, if you look at the handwriting of the note, which I encourage everybody to go and like look at it, it's like so shit. It's so crudely drawn, like written. It's so bad.
Oh.
And so yeah, back to the 911 call. The only people in the house at the time that they knew of, when the call was placed at 5:52 in the morning, were John and Patsy Ramsey, and then their son, who was 9 at the time, which will be important later. Police arrived within 3 minutes of the call being placed, and they immediately searched the whole house just specifically to see if a break-in had occurred. Now, a little like side note was that they were only looking for if a break-in had occurred and not like going in searching for if JonBenét was like in the house still because they think she's been kidnapped.
Mm.
So the officer who didn't open the door that had JonBenét's body behind it, just like walked right by it.
It's like, there's no way a robber could have came in from this place.
Yeah, you know why? Because he was just looking to see if there were open doors or anything.
So he didn't even sweep the house.
No, they went into the basement where her body was found 8 hours later, but did not open the door to see like, was there anything in this room?
Why?
It's because
let's say there was breaking in under. How do you know that they didn't like completely ravage the room inside if you don't go inside and look at it?
They do check outside, and there were no boot prints outside or anything. Nothing outside. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking... This case specifically has so much, misconduct in it. It's so bad.
Wow. This cop.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get a lot worse.
I know.
Oh my god. So John Ramsey, at this point, is making plans to pay the ransom of $118,000. A side note, the money, the $118,000, is the exact amount of his bonus. So it's like, how did they know that? You know? But as you can imagine, cops literally, like, okay, the first team comes, does a whole search of the house like we were just talking about. Just to see if people have broken in because they think there's a kidnapping. A forensics team shows up as well, and stupidly enough, only locks down JonBenét's bedroom as, like, off limits. Which it's like, yeah, I can see Younes is like, what?
Why?
So the forensics team didn't go anywhere else?
No. It's not that. It's that the forensics team only closed off her bedroom. And so this raises a lot of problems when at 8 in the morning, a bunch of people start showing up because they are fucking worried that JonBenét is missing. A pastor showed up, family and friends showed up, and yeah.
Why is the whole house, like, locked up?
It's not.
The whole house is a crime scene.
Exactly. But they don't know that, but they should have definitely been like, okay, nobody fucking leaves. You guys are not allowed to go anywhere.
Of course they wouldn't have known that yet, although they should have if the cop was doing his job.
Yeah, if they had done a sweep of the house instead of did anybody break in, they would have known. They would have found her body at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, instead of at 8 hours later when they eventually find it.
Even the forensics team, why close off just her room? Do you think there's going to be something in her room that can't be anywhere else?
I don't.
Like, evidence-wise?
I have no idea. It's so stupid.
Like, where was the note written? Kitchen?
On the stairs. They found it on the stairs, leading down from like the downstairs to the like kitchen living room area.
But everything else upstairs was still fair game.
Mm-hmm. It's very dumb. This case,
year was this?
1996.
That's pretty recent. That's really stupid.
Recent. And in my head, my instinct was 70s.
No,
that's the thing.
You'd think.
In the 70s, that's the thing, because in the 70s, there was so much police misconduct. Or just them not doing their job, which allowed so many serial killers to last as long as they did. So, like, the fact that this happened, that this still happened, like, over 20 years after that, it's just so infuriating.
Yeah. I feel like I say this a lot, but it's going to get worse. I just read ahead the next line. So, almost 8 hours later, they're kind of like, taking, the cops are working, but 8 hours later, I believe this is about 1 in the afternoon. This all started at like almost 6 in the morning. A cop asks, he doesn't do the search himself. He asks John Ramsey and a family friend named Fleet White to search the house again and see if anything is amiss. They did search the house again, and when they went into the basement and went in that room, they discovered JonBenét's body. and her mouth was covered with a duct tape, and a nylon cord was wrapped around her neck and her wrists. John Ramsey picks up the body and carries it upstairs, further contaminating the crime scene.
So the cop, the professional,
Yes.
literally said, "Hey, yo, you guys tag in. I'm gonna go grab a break. Y'all go do the search."
Hey, you, the parents, you do our job for us.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your daughter, right?
Hey,
It's
you,
not my
Mr.
kid. You
John
do the
Ramsey,
search.
the guy who the ransom note was written to. I want you to walk around the house by yourself.
It's your kid, not mine, bro.
Yeah, look around for us.
It's so dumb. And keep in mind, like, maybe not at this point, but later when it's like, okay, this is a murder investigation, at first, the case is entirely around, did the parents do it? They focus almost exclusively on the parents for quite some time.
Imagine you're a cop who's first getting that. Your first instinct was, it was the parents.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Hey,
exactly.
walk around the house. Let me think.
Let me go. Let them go search for the body.
Let's say he did it, and let's say he wanted. Let's say he like Patsy didn't know it, and he wanted to get out of there, but he was like, he was stuck there. Golden opportunity to just leave.
Yeah.
To just leave and disappear.
What are they gonna do? They don't know where he is.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
They sent him away. They sent him away.
They didn't even know the body was in the house.
I also want to add, from the killer's side now, why the fuck did they leave the body in the same house of the person they don't want to know that their kid is dead so they can still get the money from them?
I think that's why the note is a diversion.
It wasn't about the money.
No, it was about. I think the note. I guess it doesn't explain why it's written so poorly. But I think that maybe it was just to fuck with them. I don't know. I mean, if the purpose was to break in, kill the daughter, and then leave, why did they leave the note? That's a good question.
Plus, the body wouldn't be kind of like hidden away as much as it was. Why was she tied up? If it was just a murder.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing something before she was murdered.
Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting information we're going to get from the autopsy in a second. But first, all family members that were present, so Patsy, Brooke, and John, provided handwriting, blood, and hair samples to the police, and then the parents agreed at first they agree to a interview that lasts more than 2 hours, and then Brooke was interviewed after some time, not at the exact moment of the investigation, on that day. So now let's get to the autopsy. The autopsy revealed that JonBenét died due to strangulation. She also had a skull fracture, which is probably just from because she gets strangled with this nylon cord. Probably the amount of, I know she's only 6, but it's the amount of force. You know what I'm saying? Especially because you'll see where that comes from later. But there was no evidence of rape and no semen found anywhere. Although the autopsy revealed that the vaginal area was wiped with a cloth. I don't know how they determined that.
How can you determine that?
I guess
with a cloth. So it wasn't even
it might have been
they saw the dead body and they went, "That's Charmin."
It wasn't even a white. They probably found just the particles of a tissue paper. Charmin.
It could be. Could be.
How did they not know it wasn't just toilet paper?
I don't know.
Maybe she was taking a fat shit before the came.
No, she was doing something else. Okay, not in a bad way. It's okay. I have just fucked myself so much.
Context, man.
So, the nylon. Remember I said she was strangled with the nylon. They found that that it was from a paintbrush, which was from an art supply kit that belonged to Patsy Ramsey. And It kind of just, it's convenient how many things, if you're, I guess, okay, I don't think that the parents did it, but I think it's just really convenient how everything is just in the house.
This was obviously planned.
Mm-hmm.
It was planned for a long time, and it's somebody who was intimate with the family.
Yeah.
You know,
But it was also planned very poorly, I think.
I think so too,
It
because
was planned extensively. It was planned extensively and in detail, but just poorly.
poorly executed.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I choose to believe it was both planned perfectly, but also unperfectly. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason is they had details, they had information, but it's like they like pulled up to the building, and the buddy's talking to his accomplice. All right, did you bring the bag full of all the tools? Shit, I forgot it. And just
Yeah.
fucking didn't feel like driving back, so he just used everything that was in the house. You know,
Can't just wait another day.
I think
they
they.
didn't
I
want to
think
wait
they
another
knew.
day. They didn't want to make a 10-minute drive back to the place. No, they said,
I
"Fuck it, we're
think.
gonna use whatever they have. We're gonna use their paper, their own
I think they
brushes.
wanted to do
Fuck
that.
it."
I think they wanted to use all of their stuff, just to kind of make it harder for evidence-wise to be tracked back to the actual killer.
Or
True.
do you think they purposely wanted to frame Patsy?
Yeah.
Patty?
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
But then the ransom note kind of takes, like, if let's say JonBenét actually wasn't in the house, the ransom note would have automatically made the parents that much less suspicious. I think.
But what if the plan was to leave her in the house and the
But
ransom
why
note?
was she tied up? That's what I don't understand. Why were her hands and legs tied?
Maybe it's just a shock factor.
But like, what? Why?
Because maybe they didn't
Maybe
like
they
the
tied her mouth
Ramseys.
and then strangled her.
No.
Right, but it would have been harder to tie her hands and feet up before they strangled her.
Yeah, and the duct tape definitely went on the mouth before she was strangled, because why would you put it on after?
You know, also, I do want to add though, why would you have to tie her up if it's a 6-year-old?
I
Like-
don't know.
Not
And
that
I don't even want to sound gruesome, but it's a 6-year-old. You can like pick him up by the leg and like fling him against the floor like a fucking stick. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
it's just
It's-
like at the end of the
It
day,
was very
be
gruesome.
realistic.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Just
at the end
like,
of the day,
okay.
Eunice is right though. Like,
I
like,
could
I'm
have
not
worded
saying
it a little
it to
bit
be like, haha, I'm so fucking dark and edgy. It's like, realistically, you're already planning to kill. You're already
Yeah.
planning this. Why are you making it so difficult on yourself?
Was
It's
there-
a 6-year-old.
Yeah, like were there any bruises on her or anything?
Like, was this 6-year-old like secretly jacked?
other than the skull fracture and like
Was there like
there was it. To my knowledge,
was there like blunt force trauma? Like any
to
evidence
my
of that?
knowledge, no. Like she died of she was strangled, but that's like asphyxiation.
Yeah,
I think what happened was they probably like bashed her on the skull with something, but she lived, and they had to finish it with strangulation. The tied up part, I'm still confused about.
or
Maybe there's a
they knocked
theory
her out.
about that.
maybe they knocked her out. Knocked her out. Oh, knocked her out. Oh, maybe okay. Please cut that.
No.
Maybe they.
You already
That's
know
not
the
what I
answer's
meant
gonna
at
be
all.
no,
That's
Gus.
not what I meant. Okay, maybe they knocked her out, tied her up, moved her, and then realized like maybe they wanted to kidnap her. So she was already
So-
tied up. There was already duct tape on the mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't for some reason, and then they decided to kill her on the spot. Tuck her away.
Right.
So, here's another question. Did they confirm it was strangulation that guaranteed to kill her, or it was most likely what was it that killed her?
The official cause of death is the asphyxiation, the strangling, but it is also listed as like one of the things that she has a skull fracture. So
It's also possible that they might have strangled her to make her unconscious, and then while she was tied up, they hit her on her skull, and maybe they hit her too hard and she died.
that is
Maybe
true.
they didn't plan to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's weird. Because what I choose to believe now is, because it's weird that they would they wanted to hold somebody ransom for money, but then they would kill them and then leave them in the house.
What?
Yeah.
What if it was
I'm thinking maybe they accidentally killed her with the head bash, and they panicked and left the body.
That's what I'm
Maybe.
thinking too.
Because she was already tied up in everything. That there has to be an intent besides just murder.
Because how did they find her in the basement? Like, was she like
Hmm.
laying flat on the floor? Maybe they dropped
So
her or some shit. It is a 6-year-old.
maybe the ransom note was before before they got to her, before they decided to kill her.
That's
Or
what I was
maybe
thinking.
I'm thinking they strangled her, and she's like unconscious, and like they're carrying her in the basement, and they dropped her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going through my head. Because when human beings fall, we're able to do slight adjustments that can change the whole cause of fall. Like if I fall face first, that's face first. But if I just do something as small as that changes the whole fall. I won't get hurt. At least at most I'll get a bruise. But when you're unconscious, there is literally zero defense. A fucking fall off of your bed. You ever like fall off your bed while you're sleeping?
I think
That fall hurts a lot more than if you fall unknowingly, randomly.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So the autopsy also revealed that in JonBenét's stomach was, quote, a vegetable or fruit material which resembles pineapple. So she had pineapple in her stomach.
Hmm.
Meaning before she died, she had to have eaten pineapple so it wouldn't have digested. And they found a bowl of pineapple on the kitchen table with the spoon in it. And John and Patsy both claim that they didn't do it. They don't know how that got there.
Could John have done it herself?
No, because at this point, she's 6.
Yeah, that was about question.
But the 9-year-old brother's fingerprints were on the bowl. However, they claim that he was asleep the whole time.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Number 1, was his DNA on the spoon at all?
Fingerprints on the bowls. To my knowledge, I don't think they took... a lot of evidence in this case was mishandled, so even if they had the spoon, I guarantee you it never made it to get tested.
Okay,
Just
so let's
because
say
his fingerprints were on the bowl doesn't mean really too much. For all you know, they could have just been really shitty at cleaning shit.
Exactly. So
Or
if his
dirty bowl.
what I was trying to get at was if there's no evidence of his DNA on the spoon, then maybe he just touched the bowl after it all
Because
happened.
I can't lie, like
Because there was a lot of
I'm
fingerprints
living in
everywhere
2021.
afterwards.
I'm living in 2021, a modern era, and even to this day, if I just eat out of a bowl, I'll turn on the faucet, rinse it with water, do the spinning technique thing, pour out the water, and put it back on the dish rack.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the outside of the bowl gets barely any water. It's just my hands. The inside's right. Water.
Yeah.
Just the spin, pour it on the dish rack.
That's a good point, and I think that maybe if we're going with the kidnapping theory, maybe that was a dirty dish that they don't remember leaving it out, but it's in the sink or some shit. You know, the kidnapper's I gotta grab something. You know, they might not know where the dishes are. They just grab whatever they can find, and then it just so happens that his fingerprints are on it.
Because, this is also still a 6-year-old girl. She's not going to think, this bowl looks dirty. Allow me to go wash it.
Or they're trying to calm the child if they're kidnappers, just hypothetically.
Yeah.
So, in 2000... Go ahead, Younes.
So, imagine they fed her. Maybe it was just to taunt them. It was just to taunt the family. It was just a bowl of pineapples cut up in.
I have
maybe there wasn't even pineapple in the house. It was brought in by
That was the one thing they brought.
The funny part is, we would never, do we even know that? Do we even know if there was pineapple in there beforehand?
We don't. I mean, how do you...
Honestly,
the parents should know, but they...
honestly, how disorganized these criminals sound, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them accidentally brought their lunch with them.
They were rich enough, though, to have housekeepers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That brings up a whole other question.
But still, there's a way to track that the...
Yeah.
That brings up a whole nother question then. Where were they?
Actually, one of the suspects is an ex-housekeeper for them.
An ex-housekeeper? I'm talking about the current one.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's supposed to already be in that building,
I think,
Yeah. I have no idea.
Because this is a 6-year-old. Like, if there's a housekeeper, I'm gonna assume there was more than one. I'm gonna assume there was at least two.
I actually don't know specifically how
Because
many.
if you graduate college and your net worth's already $6 million, you got money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you got enough for one, you got enough money for two. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking
true.
there's at least one within the vicinity of the kitchen.
Yeah, but if the only people present in the home were the three family members, then I'm sure they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? But that does bring up a good point that it could be a housekeeper who might have a key. You know, that's no forced entry. Go ahead, Gus.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say there wasn't a housekeeper that day, right? So, but they did. They would be one of the primary intimately knew the family.
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have easily been able to find out this information, and they knew everything in the house.
Yeah.
So it would have been really easy to grab that notepad. It would have been really easy to grab the nylon. It would have been easy. It just would have been easy. Like maybe they just locked the brother in the room.
Yeah, it could be, definitely. Or they just, like, if I guess, if you have a housekeeper for so long, I feel like you would kind of be okay with, like, if you see them for so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you'd be like, oh, I trust this person, so it's like, whatever. Oh, yeah, in 2003, investigators discovered that DNA found on JonBenét's underwear, they found DNA that was not belonging to her, didn't match any one of the 1.6 million DNA profiles in the FBI's, it's called CODIS database. That's their DNA database. Didn't exactly get caught before, maybe. Or at least didn't have his stuff in the FBI database. Once they started looking for suspects, once they determined it was a homicide, this case was solely basically focused at just the parents for a while. However, by October of 1977, so the next year, there were a list of over 1,600 persons of interest. Or just people that they wanted to talk to. Later in 1998, so a year after that, the Ramseys were charged with putting a child at risk that led to her death and obstructing an investigation of murder. That's kind of with the whole, you know, they were kind of uncooperative with the investigation after they volunteered to, have an interview with the police. So, both charges were dropped because they didn't, not that they didn't think that they didn't do it, but because they didn't think they had enough evidence to convict them. And in 2006, Patsy Ramsey died of ovarian cancer. And I thought that her and John got divorced like quickly after, because that kind of happens a lot with cases where the child dies.
Yeah.
But they did not. Even like what you said, they were kind of cold to each other. What were you?
That's what I like. That's the impression that I got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens a lot. But he stayed by her side until she died when she was 49 in 2006. And John Ramsey is still alive, and he tried to run for political office.
I'm assuming very successful.
Yeah, oh yeah. So, I know what you're thinking, but who did it? So we're going to get into the two theories that I have listed. It's like two, but then the second one is like a broad kind of spectrum of theories. So the first theory is very popular. Did one of the family members do it? I don't think so, but we'll talk about it anyways. So, like I said, the police immediately were like, I think the parents did it. And there's a lot of reasons like why.
Yeah, they are primary suspect for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that's how it should be when it comes to a death in the family kind of thing, and that's most of the time like what they do. But there was no evidence of forced entry. A lot of the objects used in this crime were directly from the house. The paintbrush, the notepad, the pineapple, you know?
Mhm.
And like I said, the Ramseys were very uncooperative with the investigation after they gave that voluntary interview.
Yeah.
So let's get into the specifics. What happened? The theory goes that the son, his name is Burke. We're going to go with Burke. So Burke was up with his sister that early. It's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And him and his sister are playing. You know, maybe they got the pineapple. He gave her the pineapple because she was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing, and he hits her over the head with some sort of heavy object. They said this one guy specifically that I'll bring up shortly believes it might be a flashlight of some sort, like one of those big fucking, just boom. He didn't intend to kill her, but the parents found out and were like, oh shit, we gotta cover this up. So they faked the ransom note, put her body in the basement, and that was, they thought they could get away with it.
That is such a stupid
It kind of is. I don't think they did it.
I think, let's say the son accidentally killed her and the parents found out.
Uh-huh.
The cops would have been called immediately.
Yeah, you don't like, oh fuck, our daughter's dead. Let's hog tie her and fucking,
If they had the time for the ransom note, they had the time to get rid of the body.
They're rich. They can pay even if somebody gets charged. Let's say I assume the parents would get charged because the kid is 9. The parents would probably get charged for like child endangerment. I assume, hear me out, that they're rich enough to pay for a good lawyer to get off or get minimal charges.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter.
If not, drop the case entirely.
Exactly, like they did before with although the evidence with that, like the previous 2 charges, was definitely murky, but I guarantee you they had good lawyers.
Plus, with a case like that, pay off the judge.
Exactly. I'm sure he's rich enough.
You got ties. You got ties.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You were caught lacking, bro.
He might have been caught lacking, but he can pay to get to have no consequences of being.
That's a very, very, very stupid theory.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to add on the side note, just in general about rich people. They really are just playing without the rules, since they can just pay it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, yeah. Sometimes they do get caught, and then it's like, no, but
I mean,
very rarely.
What was it, 15, 16 years ago? There was a sex ring operation found in Hollywood. It was just never talked about 3 days after. They just stopped talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, rich people can just go make shit disappear.
No, for real.
Yeah. So obviously the brother claims that this did not happen. I believe this became popular. This specific telling of events became popular from a documentary, and he sued. I think it was CBS. And the police even claimed that he was never a suspect. He underwent 3 psychological evaluations, and they all said he had a great relationship with his sister, and so even if even if that theory is true, it wasn't on purpose.
Wasn't he also 9?
Yes. Hey, it's reaching
for him to go along. For him to go along with the lie, I think he must have been a diagnosed sociopath, which I doubt he is.
He literally, would have had to.
I'm thinking,
he would have there's no way a kid would have been able to stay hush hush about.
Yeah.
He was in school the next day. Guys, you won't believe what I.
You will not believe what I got for Christmas.
Bro,
I don't have a sister.
All his friends Jeremy, how come your dad gets you everything? Our secret. You always get whatever you want, and your parents never tell you no. Yeah, I know.
And John Ramsey's like, shut the fuck up, kid. I'm gonna fuck. The kid dies later.
Years later, no one's talking about it, and he sits down to watch CBS. He's like,
what do you mean by that?
No, they couldn't. No.
How do they know? Okay, so here's the next theory. And that is there was an intruder theory. This is very broad because it's like, okay, there was an intruder, but who was it? You know?
I think I have a guess.
Okay.
So I quickly did Google just now,
Okay.
and there is a theory that one of the housekeepers did it.
I have that.
Who was very intimate with the family and wanted money,
Yeah.
but the Ramseys refused to give it to her.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say her, maybe even her husband, or like a couple acquaintances wanted the money. So
Yeah, that's true.
you had one of them write the note, while the other one, or like maybe one or two of them, would go up and kidnap JonBenét, and then another one keep guard for the son.
Yeah.
It could have been a whole plotted thing, but just they accidentally killed him.
It could have been, and then they just were like, oh, fuck
So
it, dump the
after
body.
they wrote the ransom note, they were just like, yeah, exactly. It's like after they wrote the ransom note, they found out the kid was dead. Oh shoot, she was already tied up and everything. Let's just get rid of the body and go.
And I think something that reinforces the intruder theory, I guess depending on how you look at it, was that there were no boot prints found outside. However, there was, and I've purposely kept this a secret. There was a unidentified shoe print, or a boot print in the basement.
Oh.
So, and obviously if they're checking all the parents, you know, right in that area where JonBenét was found.
I think my theory is still... I think I'm going to stick with my theory that it was just two bozos. I'm going to just say two for the sake of relevance. Or a bozo, whatever you want to go with. That was close with the guy, close with the dad. Close enough to at least know about the bonus. And I genuinely believe they accidentally killed her with that skull bash and panicked and left.
I do think the kill was accidental, but I think they had to be closer than just know about the bonus. Because everything they used was inside the house, so they had to know where to go.
The housekeeper is definitely a, like, you know, good option.
Like, my theory is housekeeper and associates.
Do you have a name on that one specifically?
Yes, her name is...
Is it Linda?
Linda Hoffman.
Okay, we're good. You don't have to say anymore.
The reason, the only reason why I just have trouble believing it was a house worker is just because unless they overheard it, how did they know about the bonus?
If you're a long time, I think
you
if you're
basically almost live in the house if you're a housekeeper.
If you're a long time housekeeper, I think that like, because they live in Colorado. Like, imagine you have that that since they've been married, right, which is like 10 years at this point almost. Imagine you have one housekeeper for that whole 10 years. You become close, you know. I don't know how long they were together.
But that goes off the theory that it was a long-time housekeeper.
Yeah, but I don't think... I think that you can change out who did it, but with the same explanation of, like, you know, like they were trying to... It was a kidnapping gone wrong. They just left the body there.
Yeah.
So... like we were saying, possible suspects include a man by the name of Bill McReynolds, who played Santa Claus, like, for, like, kids, and he was the Ramseys' neighbor. The housekeeper, like Gus was saying, Linda Hoffman Pugh, and a man named Michael Helgoth, who apparently killed himself after JonBenét died.
Like, immediately afterwards?
I think
shortly
that's a
after.
Theory, because of the natural
too
guilt
guilty to live
after
with,
accidentally killing a 6-year-old.
So, there was also this. There was also, like, to support the break-in theory. There was, like, many small things with the house to where it's like you could probably get away with breaking in and not have it be a forced entry. Like, for example, they had Christmas lights running from the outside to the inside, so they had their windows open. They had unlocked doors, and a detective by the name of Lau Smith claimed that a break-in specific that like this was a break-in specifically through a broken basement window. However, and an FBI official agreed with him and said like that is probably the case. However, one important thing to note is that the window that he claims was broken wasn't actually broken, and it wasn't like lifted up or anything, because like there was a grate covering it that was not moved, and every window in that little basement area that could have been any possible like way of entry had dozens of cobwebs around it that were completely intact when they finished investigating the house.
You know, what would you say the name of the man that killed himself was?
Let me go back. His name was Michael Helgoth.
I feel like now I think it's Michael, because you got to keep in mind, one, this is very, very sloppy work. So whoever did this is probably the first time they've ever done this.
I will.
I choose to believe now that since it was his first time ever doing this, the idea of him accidentally killing the girl and feeling so much guilt since this is his first time was enough to make him commit suicide. Actually makes it sound a lot more possible.
Mm-hmm. That is true. It could be. So, this Lau detective was very kind of into this case. It was determined that there had been more than 100 burglaries in the Ramsey neighborhood in the months before JonBenét was killed, and 38 registered sex offenders lived within 2 miles of the Ramsey home. Yeah.
Damn. Very bad neighborhood.
But they found nothing like sexually, like anything. They didn't find any bodily fluids, anything like that on the girl.
Other than there was no semen, and then they found the DNA in her underwear, but there was no sign of at least rape.
Yeah, but then what? And what could he have done then?
I have no idea.
Like what did he do? Like lightly touch her and then like wipe it off?
I don't know. It's a good point. Like, what did he do?
What could he have done?
So, Detective Smith believes like his primary suspect was a man by the name of Gary Howard Olivia. He's a registered sex offender, and in 2016 was charged with child sexual exploitation. And in both an A&E documentary in I think 2016 and a episode of 48 Hours in 2002, he was named their primary suspect. It's basically become like the popular theory now by most, at least police officials, that the intruder theory is the correct theory, regardless of who you think the person who did it is. You know, whether it be Michael Helgoth or the housekeeper. You know, I really don't think it was the family either. I think it definitely came down to like somebody who knew the family broke in. It was a botched kidnapping for the ransom, and then they were like, just dump the body.
It had to be somebody close to know about the bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It had to be somebody that would have known about the hours of the household in order to know that when the daughter was available to get.
Yeah.
It had to be someone completely inexperienced. So those are the 3 criteria that have to be.
Go ahead, Gus.
About the bonus thing, was that public? Could anybody have like looked it up and found out?
So
like before the killing?
I am assuming because he is the president. I could not find that anywhere, but because he's the president of the company, and this is 1996, I assume that it's like not necessarily going to be like, if it's public, I guarantee you it's harder to find than like nowadays. We know that like the Activision CEO got a $12 million bonus or some shit, but I guarantee you that no, you had to be close to the family to know that. So we technically still don't know who did it.
The only reason why I bring that up is, like, let's say it was public. Maybe somebody who worked for the company got fired and just stalked them for a month or two. Like, stalked them enough to be able to find all this out. Like, maybe that wasn't even his first time in the house. You know,
could be.
Like, it could really just be like a straight up stranger to the family who's just really good at stalking and attempted kidnapping. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think the intruder theory is right, but
me too.
On who, it could literally be anybody.
Yeah. And that's why this case is unsolved, because they don't know. There's also a very popular sort of thing where people will like falsely confess to this crime. A lot of people have done it. You can do your own research, listeners. But we technically still do not know who did this, no matter who you think did it. And that's it.
Yeah.
That we don't. This is an unsolved case. Everyone's wanted an unsolved case for a while. This is what you get. You don't get closure.
I was actually one of the people who wanted this.
I know.
I was the murderer.
You the imposter.
I know it was sick. It was like what fucking. It was. I know.
You
know
weren't
it
even
was
close to
5
being
years
born.
before I was born.
Yeah.
But my bad, guys.
Conceived.
That's my B.
What's it called? Was JonBenét doing her tasks? Oh my god, dude.
Wow, did we turn this into an Among Us joke?
Yes.
To be fair, he did it.
This is depressing.
I did. Oh my god. Well,
ooh, I am fighting to stay awake.
Me too. And we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You gotta hold on. I gotta plug some stuff. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. It's at official CCP, but just look up Bodacious True Crime instead.
I don't know what CCP stands for.
It's instead of like changing it to something that like, because Calvin runs the Twitter, instead of changing it to something that's like makes sense, he just stuck with what Twitter gave him as like a norm, like as the default. So it says at official CCP.
Change it to BTC.
I don't know why I didn't do it.
Stands for cool cock.
Cool cock party.
Sure.
So yeah, at Bodacious True Crime on Twitter or at official CCP. You can email us. I will read it. and if you send me a nice email, I might read it on air. And if it's a mean email, I'll expose you.
We'll find who you live.
No, you won't actually.
That is Bodacious True Crime, all one thing, at gmail.com. And
email us.
Yeah, email us. We will read if it's nice, we'll read it at the end when we're doing outros. Yeah. If it's mean, I'll put it right at the top and I'll expose your ass.
We will get your IP address and we will hunt you. We will hunt you down.
Did you guys miss us? No. Okay, and then your IP address. That'll be my response email. Will just be your IP address.
It's like as we're reading it out live, it's like we knock on his front door.
Hello, I'm Riley with Bodacious True Crime, and today I'm going to expose you. I read out the chat logs. So what were you doing? But yeah, that's been us. Gus, do you have any final words for us?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm very proud to say this, but please make sure to use code Bodacious at checkout for your next purchase.
Okay, we are not sponsored by anybody yet, but we could be. Your product could go right here.
Just use it. If you see a checkout, if you see a code, type in Bodacious.
What do you have to lose?
Maybe eventually. It takes 3 seconds of time, and maybe eventually you get a discount and you get a sponsorship.
You have a 15% discount to gain and nothing to lose.
At worst, you have to type a few letters.
I'd like to point out that I'm pretty sure Sizzle Popcorn did at least listen to one episode of the podcast because we got a view from Canada, whereas like most of our audience is in the United States. So all of it was until that. So thank you, Sizzle Popcorn, for making up now 2% of the total listeners.
I thought it was 3%.
It was, and then somebody randomly just listened to the podcast. That's only on Spotify though. On YouTube, we get like 15 views each episode, so that's pretty good. But yeah, Eunice, do you have anything to say for yourself?
This has been Couch Fucker over and out.
Oh my god! And Eunice,
You don't have to go by that.
you've been great tonight, Eunice. Thank you for joining us.
Let me just say, a lot more insight than Ollie would have given.
100%. Holy
honestly,
shit! I
it's
didn't even
kinda
think
nice.
about that.
It's kind of nice.
It is good. Also, I have to, before we head out, we're not going to upload an episode next week because I need to do finals and the OJ
Damn
episode.
slot.
Yes,
Greedy
I
fucker.
am extremely behind on the OJ episode. I have 4 pages of notes finished for like a thing that's going to be like 20 at least.
I would have. I just want to say on my end, I would have added more to the conversation if I wasn't on the verge of blowing a bullet through my skull because of finals this week.
You know what, Eunice?
Oh,
you
dude,
did a
I'm
really
sorry.
good job. I just want to say you did an
honestly,
amazing job.
You added a lot. For real.
You did. Oh, definitely. We had a whole
hours of chemistry alone today.
Jesus.
Damn.
But yeah,
I know everything about Lewis dot structures and Vesper ion situation structures
that's
and
way better than
molecular
me.
orbital
I'm glad I took
electron
biology, not
configurations.
fucking physics or chemistry or anything like that. Nothing hard.
Do you know what a molecular orbital electron configuration is?
Never learned it.
I do not.
I mean, it was taught. But I
I
never learned
do, and I hate it.
What else was it?
it.
Oh yeah, so
Chemistry.
the OJ episode is gonna be the last episode of or it's gonna come out in
For all
December.
you audio,
What
Eunice
did
just fell asleep.
What did you say?
I said for all you audio listeners, Eunice just fell asleep.
Oh.
And just woke up. That's it.
So yeah, we're gonna do OJ, and then I have to sneeze like in the middle of my fucking speech. Hold on.
No more OJ.
But we're gonna do the OJ episode, and then there will be.
Plus-
I really want to do a 2021 like best of as the last episode of the year, basically. So I think that's what we're gonna do.
You know what? I'm gonna throw out a suggestion,
Do it. Everybody does.
and I'm gonna put it on this so it's documented.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see a 24-hour stream
Jesus Christ. A 24-hour
No.
Bodacious podcast stream or like what?
in general?
No.
You're gonna stream for 24 fucking hours of just word vomit.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Hard no.
Well, the fans get to decide, cunt.
The fans aren't
Just
the ones
watch me
staying up
make
for
like
24 hours.
80 fucking fake accounts.
Shut the fuck up, Eunice. Oh my god. But yeah, everyone.
Eunice, maybe if you can get us a sponsor, we will do it.
If we get the Sizzle Popcorn sponsorship, I will promise right now. If we get the Sizzle Popcorn sponsorship, I will do a 24-hour
just
stream.
talking about sizzle popcorn.
I do for a sponsorship. I'll do a 48-hour stream.
I'll do. Oh, you know what? How about this? Let's change it to like. Okay, we'll do like. If we get the Sizzle Popcorn sponsorship, we'll do like 24-hour stream, and then like we'll do like challenges or some shit during it or something.
All related to sizzle popcorn.
Deal. I'll do it.
Deal.
100% I'll do it.
Only
Like the first,
24
like
hours.
it'll start easy, where it's like blindfolded. You have to taste the flavors and guess which is what. All right. It'll start easy. It'll start easy, but then it'll work our way up. Like how many popcorn bags can I fit in my ass?
Anyways,
that's good.
that is a good challenge.
I need to eat nothing but sizzle popcorn for 24 hours straight.
Dude, it's so good, and I'm 90% sure this bag is not.
And no, you can't talk about it being good. They haven't sponsored you yet.
No, dude, I love. You know, I literally spent $50 on.
Honestly, have good popcorn.
They have great
Like,
Sizzle
popcorn.
popcorn G Fuel. Make it happen, folks.
Oh my, that would be awesome.
Oh, my
Alright,
tubs
I'm
came in
out.
yesterday too.
Over and out.
Really?
Couch fucker.
No, Eunice.
Oh.
I took a sip of PewDiePie flavor. I
That's-
really like it.
That's
It's
great.
strong. Like it's kind of it's sour,
Yeah.
but I like it.
Yeah, that's what lingonberry does to you.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm a fan.
But this has been the Bodacious. This has been Bodacious True Crime. I almost called it the Bodacious Podcast. It's not. But I've been
Stay
Riley.
bodacious.
Eunice was here.
Oh, I said it too early. I
Fuck.
said it too early.
Fuck no! No! We fucked up the whole... Okay. Remember, everybody? Hail yourselves. Your line, Gus.
Stay bodacious.
Stay bodacious. Oh my god, that's a wrap. We're done.